What's going on, guys? I'm Jada Black. Shout out to everyone tuning in. Now, I know there are going to be things in this particular video that I'm probably going to get wrong. If there's anything that I missed, let me know in the comment section. I'm going to talk about this woman who was married to a Marine who ended up taking her life. I believe they got into an altercation on the side of the highway, and he ended up knifing her until people started to go over to stop him from doing it. Then he ran off, and she ended up losing her life soon after that. And I believe she was 3 months pregnant. And what makes this story, because I've been researching this story right before I did this video. That's why I said if anything that I missed, feel free to let me know in the comment section, because I'm pretty sure there are things here that I'm going to miss. Okay? There are things here I'm going to miss. So let me know. All right. But in this particular story, she was 3 months pregnant. And again, her husband, look, in some of the comments that I saw, people were saying, well, he was on leave. He was off. He wasn't home. And she had been, cheating on him. She had been doing OnlyFans that he allowed her to do. He'd actually divorced her or filed for divorce last year, which makes the story even sadder, is that this man filed for divorce last year because he couldn't deal with her. Only to then he ended up taking her life, which begs the question, what kept him in this marriage for so long? Even though they only been married for 3 years, if you look at this marriage, it looks like a guy that just couldn't let go. You filed for divorce from this woman, only for you to stay with her and accept all the things that she was doing. But you could tell it bothered him. The fact that she could possibly be out here cheating. Again, I saw comments about that. I don't know if that's true. She was pregnant. She was doing OnlyFans. There was so much going on here, man. Divorced, not divorced, right? She's supposedly is going to be on her way back home to Virginia. And ultimately, as a man, if you can't let go, you're going to end up in a very bad situation. He took the life of this woman because he couldn't let go. He couldn't let go. You know that this woman is nothing, I would say in his situation, nothing but trouble to you. But you just couldn't let go, could you? You didn't want any other man to have her. Because when I look at everything that's going on, that's exactly what it looks like. The fact that there are domestic situations. She has a YouTube channel, and she made this YouTube video about what was going on in the marriage. Now, I've seen this video circulating, even though it was made 6 months ago. And even after this, she stayed with him. Now, he was deployed for months and then recently had come back. And again, she's pregnant. How does that happen? And I see this video floating around, and people are making it like, oh my God, she was just oh my God. Again, you got to understand the nature of this relationship. A lot of y'all may have, before y'all even listen to this video, the relationship seemed very toxic on both sides. But ultimately, this guy was the most toxic of this particular relationship. So let's get into it. According to NY Post, an active duty Marine is suspected of taking the life of his pregnant wife during an argument on a Hawaii freeway, according to Honolulu police. Witnesses claim that the Marine, identified as Bryant Tejeda-Castillo, allegedly stood over and knifed 27-year-old Dana before he fled into a nearby wooded area on July 20th. What's interesting is that her last video was posted, I believe, July 12th. Or 13, right around that time. Now, Dana is a Virginia native, was pronounced deceased at a Hawaii hospital following the horrifying attack. Dana was 3 months pregnant at the time of her passing, according to KITV4. She reportedly documented the alleged abusive relationship on YouTube and other social media platforms. Tejeda-Castillo, who turned the knife on himself, was taken into custody and being treated at a Hawaii hospital for self-inflicted wounds. He was charged with second-degree murder. His bail is set at $1 million. Now, I want y'all to understand once again that I don't condone any of this at all. But we cannot ignore the fact that this guy went through a lot with this woman. In one of her videos, in her latest video, when she was responding to somebody, speaking on her and her situation, she spoke about how, she, I believe, got kicked out of military. She got into a situation with the military over fighting another female. So it's not like she's very passive. I don't think she's passive at all. But she, in her situation with him, it seemed that this marriage should have ended a long time ago. And they've only had been married for, 3 years? No children? Well, she was pregnant, but who was the father? She really wanted, she was ready to move on, but he wasn't ready to move on. And that's why the responsibility of everything now falls on his shoulders. You tried to divorce this woman. Why didn't you just stay away from her? Why did you continue this relationship past what it should have been? Maybe you felt like there was more there. Maybe you didn't want other men sleeping with her. I think that ship had already sailed, allegedly. Ultimately, and you're a Marine, this falls on your shoulders. Dana and Tejeda-Castillo, who were assigned to the Marines' 3rd Littoral Combat Team, were confirmed to have been married and have been experiencing marital problems, according to the HPD homicide detective Dana. In November of 2021, Tejeda-Castillo filed for divorce, and it was later granted by the court last month, according to court records. So they had already been going through a divorce those months. Do y'all think this woman was actually faithful to this guy? He trying to divorce her, but still, because he was away. He was away for months. So maybe that was why it seemed like, she was just out doing her, because she actually was. She even said on the videos that she wanted to live her best life. That's what she kept saying in one of his. She wanted to live her best life while she was going through this divorce. The couple had only been married for 3 years. The Honolulu Police Department and the Department of Prosecutor's Office domestic team are continuing their investigation of Tejeda-Castillo. The investigators will review past domestic violence incidents, both documented and undocumented. Dana's mother, Natalia Cespedes, said her daughter sent photos and pictures and messages document the alleged abuse in the past. Just want to know my daughter has plans to come back to Virginia, make her life live with her kid because she was pregnant. So we get everything ready, the teary-eyed, heartbroken mother said in a KITV4 interview. Well, I think both of these two were like oil and water. I believe she had a fiery personality, and she did what she wanted to do. You had a Marine who has to go to work every day with everybody knowing that his wife is an OnlyFans model and was doing content on base till she was kicked out. Do you know how difficult that would be for any guy? And I'm not, again, let me reiterate this. I'm not making any excuses for what he did, because ultimately he chose to do that out of his own mind, warped, delusional mind, right? Ultimately, doesn't matter what she did. He has to pay the price for what he did to her. But let's not act like this man didn't give this wife all the leeway in the world to do whatever it is she wanted to do. And that's, she got to do whatever she wanted to do. And he allowed that. And I think it bothered him. I think at some point it started to bother him, and he decided that he did not want that to happen anymore. He was done allowing her to just do whatever. That's why he filed for divorce. He filed for divorce because he felt like he just couldn't do it anymore. But despite all of that, he still cared, I believe, a lot about her. And he didn't want any, and let me tell you this. Whenever a guy chooses to knife up his pregnant girlfriend, it's because he don't want her with nobody else. And I can guarantee you, I could be wrong, that she told him he wasn't the father of that child. And that's what sent him over the edge. I'm not justifying what he did to her, But I would not be shocked if she told him that not only was he not the father of that child, but it was somebody else. Challenge his manhood. Listen, that stuff happens, people. We can't pretend like it doesn't. Marine Corps Base, Hawaii said they were aware of the tragedy. The 3rd Marine Littoral Regiment and Marine Corps Base, Hawaii, will continue to cooperate fully with law enforcement officials as details surrounding this incident unfold. Marine Corps Base, Hawaii said in a statement to KITV. So that's what they had to say. And again, there's a lot that went on in this relationship. It's the fact that they divorced, but then they were still, again, connected because he was off working. So I still think a part of him wanted to be with her, but I don't think she really wanted to be with him like that. I don't. I think she liked the benefits of being a military wife, but I don't think she really wanted to be with him like that. And I think she probably told him that to his face, and that's what sent him over the edge. Whenever you're in a domestic, in a relationship where there's domestic disputes, you need to go. And people can look at him as the bad guy and the villain, and that's fine. But he filed for divorce. She did not. And she even said in one of her videos that she made promises to him that she would change how she dressed, that she would be more low key. Is this the behavior of a woman that was getting beat on a ton in a relationship? I'm sorry. Why are you making promises that you will change how you are if this guy is such a horrible person to you throughout that marriage? He allowed you to do OnlyFans while you were married to each other. And I just think he couldn't take anymore. And that's why he not only took her life, but he ruined his. And he ruined the life of the unborn child. So he's probably never getting out of jail. But ultimately, that's a decision that he made. He just couldn't let this woman go. This woman did nothing but cause this guy to ruin his life because he couldn't let her go. He just had to have her. Or nobody can have her. Let me go to a passage from Law and Crime. This is what happened that day or that night. Those bystanders intervened, pulling over and trying to restrain him, the detective said. They tried to help save the woman. The man fled into a nearby brush area. Responding officers were pointed to his location and were able to catch him. Lieutenant said, I do want to take this time to thank the public for their assistance and willingness to intervene as the situation unfolded, the detective said. Detective Dina said. The efforts were instrumental in the apprehension and arrest of the suspect. That man at one point allegedly hurt himself with the knife. The woman, Dana, was pronounced deceased at the hospital approximately 8:30 p.m. on Wednesday. Now, Dina, the detective, said an investigation is ongoing, but the officers were looking into past cases of domestic disputes, and both reported and unreported. She also noted social media posts that they were made aware of. He filed for divorce. She didn't. That, to me, just can't be overlooked, people. It can't. Now, again, he's going to pay a price. He's going to pay a very steep price for what he did to this woman. He should have divorced this woman and moved on, but he couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. A lot of you guys stay with women that you shouldn't be with. He should have never took this woman's life. Never. And he did let a lot of things go in the marriage. Y'all can try to act like he didn't, but he did. I'm being honest. This marriage was toxic. I believe on both sides. Now, people can say, well, he was, yeah, and the end result is him looking a lot more toxic than her, right? But if you actually go to her YouTube, because they took, I believe, I don't know, her Instagram is scrubbed, and her OnlyFans has been completely scrubbed. But if you actually go and look at her videos, you will get more insight into what's going on. It's not just him just going at her. I believe it was stuff going on both sides, but ultimately he did the deed, so he has to be punished for that. So let me know in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Like this video and share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Y'all take care.